Hello and welcome back for what I promise really is this time, guys, the last video in the Fullerton College pre-press class about color appreciation. There's just so much information to give, and there's so many side videos in this one. I hope you guys go through it all. It's good information. There's a whole lot to learn and to understand and use. Um, anyways, here we are again. We're talking about metamerism. This is the one that relates to that Seinfeld video about the two-faced person who looks different under different lighting. So two colors can look the same under one lighting condition, but appear different under another. They call that metamerism. This comes because even though they're made of the same color, they're out of different materials. The material something is made out of changes its color. If you don't believe me, try to dress in clothes that match of one color. Try to wear, I don't care what color, pick a color, but make sure your t-shirt is made out of polyester. Get a 100% polyester t-shirt in any color, and I'll go ahead and wear cotton pants that match. Good luck matching. Because the material itself changes how the color looks. You might also know this if you're an old Geardo like me who paints miniature soldiers and looks at a lot of army surplus junk. The difference between camouflage, the same pattern given to our military for their ballistic vests and their carrying equipment and their backpacks versus their uniform. Whether we're talking M81 Woodland from my childhood or the current or the really, really awful ACU pattern of the early 2000s, it was the gray, doesn't hide you anywhere camo, or the modern, what do they call it now, OCP? I forget the name of it, the version of multicam they've adopted. No matter what you're looking at, there's a difference between the nylon backpack they're wearing and the cotton poly blend uniform they're wearing underneath. Even if it's supposed to be the exact same camouflage, they look different, don't they? And that's because the material inside actually changes how it looks. So metamerism is, under some lights, they look the same, but other lights reveal the true differences in the material that change between each other. So the light absorption characteristics change under other lighting. So using this, they've creating something that is more fun than just the CD method, but useful. This helps you know your viewing conditions. The RHEM light indicator. When you are under proper neutral 5000 Kelvin lighting, you get a solid band. It is actually this kind of mauve, dusty rose, peachy color here on the right. And if it's the right lighting conditions, you get a solid bar. But if you get those bands, if it looks like it's made out of two different materials, well, it is. And that also means the light you're looking at is not correct. This is a very good reality check. And it's important that when you are managing color on press, and also when you are showing color proofs to clients who need to know if they're getting the right colors, that you are looking under the right viewing conditions. Get this wrong and they'll be disappointed. One last annoying personal story before I close here. Many, many years ago, when I was young and fresh out of college, I worked for a hobby company. It's not libelous to say anything. I'm not saying anything bad about them actually. So I guess I can say, yes, I was a red shirt at the Games Workshop store up in San Jose for a year. And I got to learn some things from a nerdy model painting competition winner guy who frequented our store. Cool guy. I'm glad I listened to him. And he taught me important things about painting, which also is an important thing about printing, which is when you're painting models or fine art or printing, you want to make sure that when you're working under correct lighting conditions. Because due to metamerism, it's entirely possible to paint something in a room that's lit in fluorescent lighting and think you made the most beautiful miniature ever and drive yourself over to a competition to turn it in, only to find out as soon as you step outside the store or your room outside that the sunlight hits it, that the colors you thought you were seeing aren't actually there. You thought you had a clean blend from one color to another, a perfect gradient, but it turns out you don't. You just couldn't see it because your lighting was poor. You don't want those kinds of surprises. You don't want them in hobby painting, you don't want them in fine art, and you really don't want them in printing. So it's important to show clients things in the right place. At my old job, we did not have a good color booth. We were a very small operation. There's only 5 of us in the whole company, including the owner and the delivery driver. And so I had to get creative on this one. I knew that if I showed people their proofs inside a dimly lit office with fluorescent lights and bad viewing conditions, they wouldn't be seeing what they're getting. So I made sure that we always went to a corner of an office that actually had a window to the outside. And we used daylight to look at them together. That way I knew they were seeing a full spectrum of light. Maybe not perfect, maybe not exactly 5000 Kelvin, but much better than indoor closed room fluorescent overhead lights. Because then if they were happy in there and they took that outside and the colors changed, so would their mood. Anyways, sorry to go 6 video on you guys. I appreciate your patience and your attention, and I hope this was educational for you. Like I said, you've reached a topic that is very dear to my heart that I am super interested in. If you have questions or want to know more, I'm happy to share I'm not going to say expertise, but my experiences and what I've seen so far and what excites me with you. Thanks for listening. Talk to you guys soon.